Photographing 4th of July fireworks is an exciting opportunity for photography students to apply their technical skills and unleash their creativity. Capturing the vibrant colors and dramatic bursts of fireworks, however, is not as simple as pointing and shooting. It requires thoughtful preparation, a solid grasp of manual camera settings, and a willingness to experiment in challenging lighting conditions. To ensure you return home with a collection of striking images rather than blurred or overexposed shots, it's essential to understand both the science and the art behind fireworks photography. Preparation is the first step toward a successful shoot. Choose your camera wisely. A DSLR or mirrorless camera with full manual controls allows you to fine-tune exposure, focus, and shutter speed, all of which are critical for fireworks. A versatile zoom lens, such as a 24-70mm or 18-55mm, will give you flexibility in framing both wide and tight shots, while a wide-angle lens is perfect for capturing the grandeur of an entire fireworks display over a landscape or cityscape. If you're aiming for close-up details of bursts far away, a telephoto lens can also serve you well. A sturdy tripod is non-negotiable. Fireworks photography relies on long exposures, often several seconds at a time, and even the slightest movement can ruin an otherwise perfect shot. Pair your tripod with a remote shutter release or cable release to eliminate camera shake when you trigger the shutter. If you lack a remote, set your camera's self-timer to a 2-second delay. This simple trick goes a long way in keeping your images sharp. Before you leave home, double-check that you have extra batteries and memory cards. Fireworks shows often last 20 minutes or more, and you'll want to capture plenty of frames for later selection and editing. A flashlight or headlamp is invaluable for operating your camera in the dark, and a lens hood helps prevent unwanted glare from nearby streetlights. Don't overlook comfort. Bring a chair, water, and bug spray, as you may spend hours in the same spot. Scout your location ahead of time. Arrive early to secure a vantage point with an unobstructed view of the sky, ideally far from bright lights and distractions. Consider including foreground elements, like a city skyline, a lake, or a crowd of spectators, to add context and storytelling to your images. Pay attention to wind direction. Position yourself so that drifting smoke won't cloud your frame as the show progresses. Once on site, it's time to dial in your camera settings. Manual mode is essential, as it gives you direct control over every aspect of exposure. Set your ISO to 100 or 200 to minimize digital noise and maintain rich, dark skies. Fireworks are surprisingly bright, so a low ISO will preserve detail and prevent blown-out highlights. A mid-range aperture, between f8 and f11, offers a good balance of depth of field and sharpness. This helps keep both the fireworks and any foreground elements crisp, while also avoiding overexposure. Wider apertures like f2.8 can let in too much light, washing out the vibrant colors of the bursts, while very narrow apertures can make the fireworks appear too faint. Shutter speed is where the magic happens. Long exposures, typically between 2 and 8 seconds, allow you to capture the elegant trails of light as fireworks burst and cascade across the sky. For a single burst, try 2 to 4 seconds. If you want to include multiple bursts in one frame, extend the exposure to 6 or 8 seconds. Alternatively, use bulb mode, which keeps the shutter open as long as you hold the remote trigger. This gives you precise control over timing, allowing you to start the exposure as a rocket launches and end it after the burst fades. Autofocus often struggles in low light and can't keep up with the speed of fireworks, so switch to manual focus. Before the show begins, focus your lens at infinity or on a distant streetlight or building. If your lens has a distant scale, align it to infinity for reliability. Set your white balance to daylight or auto to preserve the fireworks' true colors. Avoid tungsten or fluorescent settings, which can distort the natural reds, blues, and greens of the display. Always shoot in RAW format if possible. RAW files offer far greater flexibility for recovering details and fine-tuning colors during post-processing. Once the show begins, timing is everything. Watch for patterns in the display. Some sequences involve single, isolated bursts, while others feature rapid-fire volleys or dramatic finales. In bulb mode, Open the shutter as a firework launches, hold it to capture the full burst, and close it just before the next one ignites. This approach helps you capture clean, uncluttered images with one or two perfect bursts rather than a chaotic overload. Composition plays a huge role in transforming a simple snapshot into a compelling photograph. Leave negative space around the fireworks to capture their full spread, and experiment with both vertical and horizontal framing. Vertical compositions are ideal for tall, rising bursts, while horizontal frames capture expansive displays or include elements like cityscapes and lakes. Long exposures reveal the elegant trails created by the exploding shells, but be careful not to overdo it. Including too many bursts in a single frame can lead to overexposure and visual clutter. Aim for clarity by focusing on 1 to 3 distinct bursts per shot. After the first few frames, review your images and adjust as needed. If the fireworks appear too bright, close down the aperture or reduce the exposure time. If they're too dim, open the aperture or lengthen the shutter speed, but avoid increasing ISO to keep noise under control. Creative techniques can further set your images apart. Try layering multiple exposures in post-processing to build a composite image with several bursts while maintaining a clean background. Experiment with zooming the lens during a long exposure for dynamic, radiating streaks, or include silhouetted foreground objects to give your photos a sense of place and scale. Be prepared to handle common challenges. If your images are blurry, double-check that your tripod is secure, image stabilization is turned off, and your focus is set to infinity. If smoke starts to obscure your shots, reposition if possible or wait for higher bursts. For underexposed images, open the aperture or extend the exposure time, always mindful of avoiding too much noise. After the shoot, post-processing can elevate your images. Use software like Adobe Lightroom or free alternatives to adjust exposure, contrast, and color balance. Apply noise reduction sparingly to clean up dark skies while preserving detail in the light trails. Crop and straighten your images to remove distractions and perfect your composition. Above all, practice and experimentation are key. Get comfortable with your camera's manual settings by photographing sparklers or car lights in the dark before the big event. Take plenty of shots during the show. Fireworks are unpredictable, and the more you experiment, the better your chances of capturing something truly spectacular. Finally, be mindful of safety and etiquette. Set up your gear in a way that doesn't block others' views, avoid restricted areas, and stay aware of your surroundings in the dark. Protect your equipment from wind, humidity, or stray sparks with appropriate covers. By preparing thoroughly, mastering your camera settings, and allowing yourself to be creative, you'll be well on your way to capturing the magic of 4th of July fireworks. Review your shots, learn from each experience, and enjoy the process of creating memorable images that reflect both the celebration and your unique perspective as a photographer.